Hey, how are ya? All right, what's up, everybody? In this video today, we're going to talk about Vietnam, and it's not nearly as cheap as what the internet claims it to be. Specifically, Instagram, I think TikTok as well. There's a massive amount of misinformation about living in Vietnam, its extreme cheapness, and it's just so amazing. The first thing I want to tackle in this is I'm not talking shit about any particular person or content creator out there. So if you are a content creator watching this video and you're going to try to take something personal, get over yourselves. I don't even know who you are. I just see shit as I'm scrolling through things. And again, I'm not talking about any particular person. So there is what I call the honeymoon phase. And it's just the same as in a dating relationship. And it's the same thing that happens with Vietnam. It's going to be great and amazing the first 3 to 4 years. Most people, maybe 1 or 2 years before they start to see some fallacies and cracks in the armor, essentially. But it took me, I don't know, 5 years before I started to notice issues. But that's not really what this video is exactly about. We're more going to focus on how everybody says, pretty much $1,000 a month, you're going to be crushing it in Vietnam. And there's a lot of shit coming out of Da Nang in particular too, how you're just going to have this lifestyle that is just going to be absolutely amazing. Women are going to be fawning at you. You're going to be able to buy an apartment for $60K if you want, and your rent's going to be $400 on the beach to look at the ocean and a nice pair of tits and a bikini like you're in Miami every day. Well, this is just not the reality of how it goes. I'm here to burst your bubbles. Burst bubbles. It is a great move to go to Vietnam, but it is not an end all be all, and it's not cheap as these people are making it. There is no possible way to live on $1,000 a month unless you're a fucking monk, like straight up. And if you're new to the videos and you're like, this guy's using loud words and he seems a little, I'm to the point and I'm raw and I'm honest. I'm also fun, and we do a lot of fun shit too. I do a lot of streaming. We do a lot of vertical streaming. I produce a lot of extra content over on Patreon as well. So, I mean, we have a lot of fun too. But there is just so much misinformation going on about how cheap everything is. I just want to start getting into the prices of things because I know people. It's impossible to please every person that watches a video. There's some people that just want you to get into the information. Other people are like 5 minute long-winded intro. Stop trying to pitch me shit. So let's just get into it. In Da Nang, you're not going to be able to get away with $1,000 a month. Maybe if you are completely sober, you get an apartment that is probably not a great view and is a lot older. Sure, you can get in that $500 price range probably. And if you make all of your food, if you just are like a complete monk and just hang out at home, and like you are really a cheap person and you're like marking down everything and extreme budgeting, you're probably going to get away with somewhere around $1,000. But it's still going to be total. Everything adds up. Like the rent adds up. There's management fees on top. It's very few times, like in Da Nang, they're including all that shit. But let's switch on over to Saigon. They're not including the management fee with almost any places. So you're renting a place for 15 million to 20 million, which is like 650 to, let's just go 650 to 1,000. You've got to add on any decent building another $100, $200 for a management fee, depending. Some of them wrap the aircon in, so it could be $300 for a management fee per month. Your electricity is going to be upwards to $100 a month, depending on how much you use your aircon. If you're a person that is hot all the time, especially in Saigon, you're going to be running that aircon all the time. So expect your electricity to be $100 to $200 a month. Water's not anything. I think $15, $10 a month. The internet's not much either. You can do the whole internet for like 5 to 10 million for the year, depending on what speed connection you get. So the things that really, honestly, and truly get you is you're going to be eating out, you're going to be going out, you're going to be doing stuff. There's so few people that are going to be, there's like retired persons and people that are going to be really budgeted minded and all that stuff, but it's not all rainbows and here's $5 a day and you're living large. You're not going to want to eat Vietnamese food every day either. Like, it's good cuisine, but it's not to the point of where you want to eat Vietnamese 3 times a day 7 days a week for years on end. I'm sorry to burst your bubble on that. You're not going to do that either, especially if you're from America or Australia or things like this. You're going to want your Aussie foods, your American foods, your British foods, and these things add up. These people are not fucking around that own these restaurants anymore. They're all charging crazy fees pretty much in Saigon. Like I pretty much don't even I on not even on purpose started to become a cheaper person because of the way that things do work. I'm throwing out a lot of things fast, so you have to pay attention, but it does make you a better person with your money living in Vietnam. Let's say that. I used to be a horrible person with money, and I still am trying to get better at it on a daily basis, but my skill set has improved way better. And I'm less likely to buy a large purchase without highly thinking about it. Now, that being said, you have to understand that you're not going to pop up in some Vietnamese apartment, dude, for $200 a month and you're going to be loving life. I know there's dudes going viral on that shit too, being like, this is the life. You're going to fucking hate it. I'm going to tell you the truth. You're going to want to power bomb your neighbor within 2 weeks after they've karaoke'd every fucking night till 3 a.m. singing the same song, fucking their wife, where you hear her moaning, all this crazy shit going on that you can't turn off. So the whole idea of like you're gonna have a great time in these like local Vietnamese apartments, get that the fuck out of here too. Ain't gonna happen. Sorry to burst your bubble on that shit too. It's not for the weak. You know, if you're really a person that's super loud and likes loud noises and really doesn't give a shit about anything and doesn't mind like a poor quality product because you know they make things cheaper, then you're going to be fitting right in. But for the majority of people that are from Western society, it's just not going to happen for you. You're going to want a Western apartment. I am telling you this as a dude that's lived in Vietnam for 6 years. You're going to want a Western apartment. The houses, too, I don't fuck with the houses either because the houses are directly attached to your neighbors. Your house is your neighbor. So you better love your neighbor because the house is literally connected to your neighbor. And these walls, baby, are thin as shit. So the whole house thing, too, goes out the window. And now we're seeing an explosion in rent. I'm not talking just a fucking increase. We're talking a massive fucking increase in rent in Saigon, Da Nang, everything for high quality products. Now I know there's a bunch of people that are gonna watch this and jump in and be like, "Oh, I could still get my cheap apartment." They're getting few and far, and you're putting up with things to have that cheap apartment. You're putting up with a lot of shit usually for that cheap apartment. In all reality, after you've settled in and been in Saigon or Vietnam, you're gonna want a fucking Western apartment. So you can go to bed at 11 p.m. and know that you can just go to bed and not hear 90,000 things until you want to wake up at like 8 a.m. You're not gonna have that option in a lot of places in Vietnam. I'm just gonna be truthful. Unless you get a Western style apartment. I keep saying Western style apartment, and I hate that I have to use that, but they call them high end and they're not even really high end. You just want a thick slab of concrete in between the apartments. You want properly built walls so you don't hear your neighbors. And you want well built architectural buildings where the things are laid out correctly. Like you have to understand that sometimes it makes sense to put a bedroom above a bedroom, but sometimes it makes sense to put a bedroom above like a kitchen. So like there's not ongoing, you get what I'm saying? So like these newer buildings put that into account so you're not running into noise issues. You need to be really careful with like Da Nang too. If you haven't seen the weather that's going on, there's parts of the season where you have to fucking like leave the city. So like if you're planning to live year round there, you really need to think that out. That's why not people, that's why I would tend to recommend Saigon. I would never recommend Hanoi. I don't know why it would possess someone to live there. It's okay. I just didn't like the attitude of the people there. Again, I'll revisit there coming up, but realistically, you're gonna need $2,000 to $3,000 a month, like which is super more affordable than here. I've been in America for a month or two now, a month, and it's fucking expensive. Like housing is no joke. I did the projected timeline for housing, even in like shitty areas and like non-desirable states. The average person in like 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to be paying close to $4,000 a month for rent. Like that's going to take a while to happen in all of Vietnam. Now that being said, Saigon's going through some crazy shit with their rent right now. Like all the new projects are renting out for astronomical prices. 30 to 45 million for a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, which is just wild. And then the 1 bedrooms are renting for like 28 to 32 million, which is again crazy. This is $1,000. So they're starting to get like what LA prices got when LA started popping off in 2005 to 2007. So the writing's on the wall for Saigon right now. It is blowing up. It is not going to reduce. People are going to continue to move there. It's popular not because of YouTubers. It's popular because of all other Asians are going there. Koreans are setting up massive businesses there, moving entire companies. They're setting up another arms of companies like to accompany their Seoul, Korea ones. They're setting up ones there. Same with the Japanese. They're just setting up shop and doing business and liking to do business and liking the flow of money that's happening in Vietnam. So it's just going to continue to rise in price. Rent is not going to get cheaper. Any kind of desirable newer apartment in Saigon, anywhere now that was like built in the last 5 years, unless you're trucking out to like areas that are far out there, like District 9 shit, are super expensive. They're like $1,000 to $2,000, and it's just going to get more expensive. Now, if you're a family and you've got kids and stuff, and you want to put them in a private good school, fuck out of here. 30 grand a year for like the top private schools in Saigon per kid per year. So I mean, you have to think about that too. If you have a family, putting them through those schools is no joke cheap. There are a lot of people that are expats that move to Saigon that work for huge, large companies where they pay for all that shit though, or they make enough to where they can. So you have to know that Vietnam is not as cheap as the internet makes it seem. And I am the Saigon guy. I've partied. I was a drunk for years in Saigon, and I've seen it and done it all. It greatly reduces your price if you don't drink. I spend probably, I don't even know, way less per month because I don't go out and drink. So if you do not drink at all, you're going to save an exuberant amount of money. But most people are going to spend their money on some kind of other thing. So you're going to spend it on food, maybe women, and if you're a woman, maybe dudes, I don't know, food as well. And then nice housing. I think a lot of you guys are going to want nice housing. And here's the reason why you should get the nice housing is where the fuck in America are you going to go get a top tier, S tier apartment for $1,000 a month? Even though I just said it's expensive in Saigon, where in the fuck are you going to go to anywhere in America to a top tier city and get a top tier apartment for $1,000 a month? And you know, people shit on Saigon, but compare Saigon to LA. LA is probably more fucking dirty, like for real. And there's definitely more crime in LA. So I mean, I think you're just going to continue to see an uptick on people going to Vietnam, moving to Vietnam, companies setting up shop. It's time to buckle in and understand that shit's going to go up in price. It's not going to come down in price. And the realistic thing of the $1,000 a month, we don't want your broke ass motherfuckers anyways, dude. Take your shit somewhere else, for real. No offense. I'm not trying to start wars here or anything, but a country doesn't want somebody that spends $12,000 a month anyways. Like, get the fucking shit out of here. You need to think that one through of like, why would they even want that? Now, we can expand on this video in so many different ways. The situation of living there right now, on how you can just infinitely every 90 days leave the country and get a new visa. Is that going to continue to stay the way it is? Probably not, but it's been like that so far. I mean, take a look at Thailand right now. They are not fucking around. They're clamping down on all their shit. Every single thing Thailand is clamping down on right now like a mofo. Like, if you're doing that's how the one dude from Kick, that's why he's in Saigon right now all the time, because he can't even go back to Thailand if he wants to, because they're clamping down that shit. Or Bangkok, he can't go back to Bangkok if he wants to. Like, there's going to be a continuation of stuff like that. It doesn't seem like the government's in any hurry to do that. And then any YouTuber pumping your ear with like, there's a golden visa coming for you, you ain't gonna be able to afford it, guys. That visa is not going to be affordable for 99.9% of people watching this video right now. They're going to want you to park legitimately $100,000 US in a Vietnamese account. Like, this is going to be for the rich, for the elite. So like, wipe that shit off the table. There's no talks of a retirement visa right now. There's nothing in the pipeline for that. Could it come out tomorrow? 100%, because that's the way Vietnam rolls. But you have to be realistic that that could go away too. Your 90-day infinite loop. So these are the things that I talk about. I cover a lot more. I travel around the world. There is a great deal of amount of additional content on Patreon. I'm telling you, an amazing amount of extra content over on Patreon. Hundreds of videos where I get into detail about the XXX parts of Southeast Asia, all that stuff. So if you're interested in the women of the night, the pricing and all that stuff, it's highly available on there. If you want bloopers and backstories and me getting more raw and super more raw, it's over on Patreon. And then we also just brand new introduced the Patreon Discord for $10. So if you want to get in on that, it's just been launched, new product. I'll be chatting in there all the time. So it puts us behind a $10 a month paywall to keep out the people that are negative. So that's really it. I hope this was helpful for anybody. Fuck with me if you want to. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can leave a negative thumbs down and keep her moving, eh? As ever, thanks for watching. Stay frosty. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.